Hey everybody, it is me, Pacific, and today I wanted to do a video. You know, I'm not sure what to title this. I wanted to title it The Penis Olympics. We're going to talk about a bunch of different things, but it has to do with women again. Let me start off to say something. Burn the Ender made a video yesterday that was very good. I have not finished watching it in its entirety. I watched halfway through, and I think he has some incredible insight as well and something to contribute to this scene. First, let me address something. One of my viewers wrote in telling me that I shouldn't go on about women and stuff like that. And I said, why not? Why not? All we hear out there is male bashing left and right. And until us men start standing up and beating on this drum and beating it hard and loud, women are not going to wake up. But I think that the wake up call needs to go to us males. But let's talk about a couple things. The comment was made, and I've heard many people say, well, porn is safer than getting involved with a woman. That is true. That is true. And I think one of the reasons that you see an increasing number of men doing one of the following: getting into pornography, or going their own way, or getting into homosexual, bisexual behavior, is because of the way women today are treating males. You heard me, women. I am putting that blame squarely on a lot of you. Yes, some men are just deviant in their own right, and some people grow up and decide they want to be gay or they want to do this or that. But if somebody keeps putting their hand on the stove and getting their hand burned, they finally learn, you know what? I can't touch that. It's hot. It hurts. Is porn safe sex? Is porn good for us? My personal opinion is no. Has Pacific looked at it? I've looked at it. I've looked at free cams where you can watch women undressing, and some people are paying them, but because of the nature of it, you can just sit there and tune in. And I have made my observations over the years, and you know what? Porn leaves you empty. It is not a real person you're doing something with. It's all fantasy. And as I get older, I start to realize fantasy just doesn't do it. I want a real flesh and blood woman. Porn is simply penis Olympics. I'm going to be very transparent, viewers. Very transparent. So, mothers, you might want to tell your children to vacate the room. Somebody can sit there and look at porn, and Yahoo used to have chat rooms, and I found that it was very easy to start talking to women overseas who were very lonely, very bored, and they would just automatically drop their shirt. I'm like, dang, free show. I looked, and I found that you could get caught up in that all day long. And the reason I call it the Penis Olympics is it becomes a marathon where you're just in that all day long. The whole day goes by, you've done nothing productive, haven't even eaten. We were made for people. And when people become so dysfunctional, so selfish, so inverted, so narcissistic, so Pollyanna, this is what's happening. Churches scream about sexual immorality, but not one church to date that I've ever attended does anything constructive about solving the problem. They blame males. They lay the blame at the feet of males. Not one pastor will dare take on women. There's an unwritten rule in society that we're supposed to always protect the valor and honor of a woman, and a man's always supposed to hold the door open for her. But something has been lost in all that. Today, we don't have to tell women the truth. We're supposed to put up with their shenanigans and garbage, and we don't do anything. Let's talk about several things here. I watch a lot of music videos, a lot of videos international, like Romanian women, French women, very, very beautiful women, very nice singing, but I've started to analyze the videos more and more. I really don't tune in to watch videos. I'm a music man. Music kind of like takes me to a different place. I try to listen to music that is good, upbeat, but I noticed every video involving a female vocalist, it's all about the female vocalist. They dress sensually, they dance sensually, and they want you to notice them. These videos aren't videos about a story or a drama or anything. It's just the camera showing them at different angles, the side view of their breast, the top view of their breast, and them shaking it and doing all that. And one of my viewers said that the industry and the media promotes this, and it does. And it works because we men, in the Bible, Herod had his daughter dance before the king, and people don't realize the implications of that. Kings would have parties and get so drunk they'd pray their daughter or their wife out, usually sensually, and the men loved it. Dance can be very sensual. I've been to Philippine karaoke in Hong Kong, and I'm telling you, it's a tough place to be for a red-blooded male, especially when the women start dancing suggestively. I'm not going to get into that. That was the occasion for all kinds of temptation, and I gave in to quite a bit of it. What bothers me in American society is we have empowered women that know they're good looking. We have given them a free pass. We let them get away with murder. That video I watched where a woman walks in, a drop-dead gorgeous woman, walks in and stares at people. The video was interesting. People are looking at it like, can I help you? Not one person got mad, and I would have said, hey, ma'am, do you got a problem, man? Could you, get out of here? And somebody wrote in and said, if that was an ugly guy or a normal-looking guy doing that, they'd be calling him a pervert. You freak, I'm going to call the police, quit looking at me. But because it was a beautiful woman, people put up with it. I've noticed that beautiful women think that they can just cut out in traffic because they're pretty. I can't tell you how many times I pulled up at a traffic light where everything is backed up, and you'll see a woman wait to pull out of a side business, and I'm nice enough to wave her on, and she just goes out, no thank you, as if I owed that to you. So there are times when I just go, no, you can sit there. You know what's sad? Women anger me in our society because the same women that are bashing us males will not hesitate to be whores for money. That free cams is amazing how many women get on there, won't get a job, won't work a legitimate, honest job, but they just sit there and be flaky, no substance women, removing their top and their bra and saying dumb things to a bunch of horny perverts. I have read some of the comments in the past of men going in those rooms, complimenting and cheap flattery while the woman's playing cheap, distorted music in the background and sitting there thinking she's just a little diva. And going, woman, you're stupid. Now, one of these guys cares about you. Guys will say and do anything to get sex. And I'm sorry, but most of the guys looking for that kind of stuff, the fact they don't have a relationship tells you a lot right there. However, I went to lunch yesterday with a black woman. Her picture, when I saw it, I thought she might be obese. When she showed up, I was waiting in the lobby at the restaurant looking at an auto trader, looking at used pickups, and I was like, she surprised me. She came in, she goes, hey, Pacific. And, oh, hi. I was like, whoa, whoa. Pretty, tall, nice frame, nice build black woman, 46 years old, got an adult kid, or a kid that's grown up, and she's in a very professional end of business. I don't think she was interested in me. We met for lunch just platonically, and we had a nice lunch, and it was very nice to talk with a woman who had her stuff together. And I did. I thought, dang, she's very good looking. But she was taller than me, and I've noticed in our society, generally speaking, women want somebody who's taller than them, and I understand that. I'm 5'9", but she was definitely taller than me. Very well put together, and she carried herself very well. She was very intellectual. We had a great conversation. We didn't just eat lunch. We sat there and talked for quite a while. It saddened me. It saddened me because I thought, gosh, women like this are hard to find. She was sincere, genuine, smiling. She wasn't fake. She told me, she goes, I just be who I am, and if people can't accept that, that's their issue. It was a very nice lunch. It was nice to go out with an ethnic woman and feel very comfortable. And I admit, viewers, I'm going to tell you all something. You're going to think I'm crazy, but I've had a very strong leaning towards wanting to date an African American woman. I want to do it. I want a long-term relationship. I want to see what it's like, because I've dated white women, I've dated Asian women, and I've got a real desire to meet and date an African American woman. As I told you before, in the African American community in the U.S., there's a lot of women that just make me want to just run. Loud, obnoxious, foul. And then there's others that I meet that are classy and nice. And I have viewers that are African American women, and they're kind people. They're nice, they're thoughtful, they're manners, and some of them make some great videos. And that's what I like about my videos. My channel is not lily white. My channel cuts across all lines, and I'm very happy and thankful for that. Burn the Ender makes a comment that I want to capitalize on. A lot of women have no substance is the absolute truth. The woman I talked to yesterday definitely had substance. She tends to attract managers and people in suits and ties. And I asked her, I said, would you date a guy without a suit and tie, without a college degree? And she goes, yes, my ex-husband was all of that. Unfortunately, the marriage fell apart. But she is open, and I like and appreciate that. I was not her type. I was smaller than her and all that. But I liked her company. It was fun. It wasn't a wasted date. And I got to meet and experience, briefly, somebody else, and it was nice. But it saddens me. Where are all the good women? Now, I'll be honest. We all have our preferences. There's certain women I'm not going to date, even if they're nice. You know, I want somebody who's kind of built like myself, just because. I don't care if she's shorter than me. It doesn't bother me a bit. But what does bother me is you look at female videos and it's all about them, and it's just narcissism. They're in love with themselves. And I've looked at free cams and stuff like that in the past, and guys, don't go all check out on that site, which I know some of you will. It's a waste of time. You read these stupid comments with men with little moving pictures showing kissing and some guy with his eyes bugging out. It's like, men are retarded. Men are just retarded. They get so horny, they just get stupid, almost like they're drunk. And it dawned on me, you know, we do play into women. We play into them bad. Personally, I think men need to start charging for sex. I think men need to boycott every porn site and boycott every woman. We complain about women, and yet men will go and look at that stuff. Why are we doing it? Does it really fulfill you? Does it fulfill us? No, it doesn't. Let me remind you all, men, of one thing. That porn you're looking at, those women are not going to do it with you. You're never going to meet them face to face. They're too high maintenance. They've become whores for money, and they don't care about you. I think of the Bible saying the prostitute reduces you to a loaf of bread. Women will smile and be sweet to you as long as the paycheck's coming, but when that stops, they will turn on their heel and say, do not talk to me. I tried an experiment years ago. I'd hit a low in my life, and I experienced a prostitute. She's a very nice woman. And I said, let's go to dinner. And we went to dinner, and we talked, but she still wanted. Even after the dinner that I paid for, she still wanted me to do something with her and pay. And I thought, man, there's no free lunch with these gals. And I said, you know, I wanted to befriend somebody in your profession. I don't care if we do anything or not. I just wanted to be. Even a friendship with them is for hire. Suffice to say, folks, I didn't continue on. Pacific is very transparent, because one of the things I'm tired of, and for the gentleman that wrote me saying, you know, saying something about, as a Christian, you can get total overcoming of this. I have read tons of books for those of you that are Christians about all these things where you can bind and rebuke the devil and rebuke your past and renounce the occult in your past and all this stuff. And you know what? It's garbage. When our society gets off the track the way it has, I don't care if you attend church and go to church. Everybody has a different sex drive, number one. Some are high driven like myself. Others, they get so involved in projects and stuff that they don't even think about it. I wish I had that problem. But there's too many Christian pundits out there saying, well, you're not getting victory. You're not walking in the Spirit. Whatever, dude. Those same people that claim to have it together and never masturbate, they got other problems. Trust me. Just hang around them long enough. They're self-righteous. They're jerks. They're rude to people. And for some reason, they don't see the stuff in here that talks about that as well. I have found as a Christian, we may get control of one area of our life and then another thing pops up. And that's the way it is. No pun intended on the popping up. But the fact is, when our society used to be more community-oriented, when neighborhoods kind of watched out for each other, when churches were warm and loving, there was a lot less of this stuff. There wasn't all this porn and free sex going around. Why? We're looking for intimacy. We're looking for acceptance. Americans are very sexual in their minds, and yet we can't seem to get intimacy in our culture. It doesn't exist. For too many people, it's about having sex, not making love. And people go, what's the difference? There's a huge difference. I have experience. You know, when you're a teenage boy and you see a girl and her shirt drops and all you're thinking about is her breasts, well, when you become older, you want to feel those against you, not just see them. We become a nation of voyeurs. We're happy to get a peep show at some woman with her top off. And it's cheap. And it's trashy. And it's unfulfilling. Have I done my share of the penis Olympics to that stuff? Yes, I have. And I think if most guys are honest, they've done it too. And a lot of women. I thought it was interesting years ago that women were always saying men are pigs, men are pigs. I read about 2 years ago that women are increasingly having a problem with pornography. And the problem with pornography that a lot of women are having is women on women. I was like, oh, isn't that interesting? Let me say something about that. Let me say something very bold about that. It stands to reason that women are good turned on with other women because women have become so narcissistic and so in love with their bodies that, of course, they'd start desiring somebody who looks just like them. I've heard women complain that men are hairy, sweaty, and gross. And I have thought, wow, it has come so full circle. Do I blame all homosexuality on women? No. Some men choose that very young. They determine they don't want a woman, they just want a guy. Viewers, I'm going to say something very blunt. I have done experiments. I have gone to places most people wouldn't and shouldn't go. I've talked to a lot of males that are in the gay lifestyle. I've met men that are very bi, and they said they enjoy doing things that just, I'm like, really? Gross to me. I cannot understand it. I have no desire for that, thankfully. And I meet men that want to do things with other men, and I'm going, why? I don't know, man. I just love that. Wow. For me, there's no substitute for a woman. It just isn't. We are seeing an explosion in America. You get on sites like Craigslist where you can post everything in personals. Man and a woman seeking a woman in their bed with them, or a male and a female, and basically orgies. And we are living more and more in the days of Corinthian Roman culture where anything goes. We are becoming increasingly sexual. And what's happening out of all this is everybody thinks it's so liberating to try all this stuff as relationships have exploded and fragmented all over the place. People are not becoming more intimate and closer together. We're just becoming more deviant. We're becoming more out of control. And men are burning with lust towards other men. Women are burning with lust towards other women. For those of you that aren't Christian, read Romans 1. It's very interesting that it very clearly says that when we turn our back on the truth of the Creator, God gives us up to these things. I also think that in fairness, it's not just some of us Christians struggle with this. And why? Turn on the TV, turn on the media, listen to rock music, and what do you hear over and over and over? You know that stupid song by Bruno Mars, Your Sex Takes Me to Paradise. He uses terms that are Christian terms, born again and all this other junk, and I'm like, huh, you think he's got a problem with God? I'd say so. He's using church terminology to describe his euphoric experience with having sex, and I'm like, that's just wrong. My heart is heavy about this because I see good-looking women all day out on the road, in stores, in malls. They don't give me the time of day. And Bernie Under's right. Most of these women have no substance. One of my lady friends, an Asian lady friend I have here in Denver, told me a lot of good-looking women are not nice. She notices that. That black woman yesterday, she went to a place called 24 Fitness in Parker. She stopped going. Her reason? She said, I can't believe the way these women dress to work out. I said, yeah, they're practically naked. But I said, if you look at them, ma'am, I said, they're stuck up. She goes, oh, I know that. But she said, it bothers me. By the way, this black woman was a very good-looking woman. She did not have her cleavage exposed or anything. And I could tell she's stunning. Women seem to think that it gives them an edge up to be sensual in their attire, and I find that all it does is demean themselves even more. They're too stupid to realize it because, as Byrne says, they have no substance. And I agree with what he said about what they post on Facebook. So much trivial garbage, superficial, skin-deep junk. I also watched a video the other day that was very sobering and made me realize, you know, we do have a problem. They talked about women's spending habits versus men's on toiletries. Now, I'm not going to give percentages because I didn't write them all down. Men spend this much on toiletries and women spend this much. The legal system is designed to get men to part with their money and hand it to women because the business world knows women are the ones that buy. So it generates capitalism and consumerism. Women are the ones that are in the malls. I go walking one of the malls, Colorado Mills, sometimes when the weather is inclement because I don't want to walk outside and get wet or whatever. And that place is full of women all the time, buying crap they don't need. In fact, I will be so bold as to say that if the malls closed down in the United States of America, it wouldn't bother me a bit. I don't buy stuff at malls. I might buy a greatly reduced clearance rack item of like a shirt for $10 or a pair of shoes for $20 that, hey, those are good. I don't go in and pay mall price. There's nothing in a mall I have to have. Malls attract women, and the vendors in the malls pay high rents, charging high prices to make their rent, to sell their product. And I look at a lot of stuff like Target, Macy's, and the stuff that the stores sell to women, homogenized, blah, colorless, boring clothing. Sorry for any of you women that watch in and say, hey, I shop at Target. I'm not against that. But I look at the clothing styles that the industry promotes, and it's like, boy, we're really dumbing down women. One of the ladies that lives in the neighborhood said hello to me the other day, and she had a brilliant purple floral design pretty top. I said, that's a nice blouse, man. It's a color. And she goes, oh, everybody in my office dresses in black and white because it's the insurance business, and I refuse to do that. And I said, you know what? Color's good. There's a lot of pretty women out there. I want to go up and say, can I be your clothing style manager? Because you need help, lady. I think a lot of women don't do themselves justice at all. And they think dressing sleazy and stuff is the way it is. And men, I want to ask you something objectively. You know, have you seen the women with those ripped louvered shirts and strange clothing that's torn up down the side, and men will ignore all that because they're getting a peep show. But stand outside the lust factor and ask yourself, is this clothing really good looking? The ripped shirt needs to go in the trash, and women with holes all over their jeans, and everybody says that looks sexy, they look trashy. We've been so conditioned that that's sexy that we ignore, and women get away with fashion disasters just because men are lustful pigs. But when I step outside myself, I go, gosh, that woman needs to learn how to frickin' dress. Nothing turns me on more than a woman wearing a nice, colorful sweater, turtlenecks, scarves, and stuff like that. Because if she's sexy, they're still going to come through. One of the greatest things that men could do is if they boycotted porn, the industry would fall in on itself. Women know the power they have over a man's penis. Sorry to be blunt, but that is what it is. We've been so conditioned, who cares about her personality? Just show me the money, lady. And if we get a view of her boobs and nipples, we're content. Sadly, we men are playing into the entitlement mentality. We men, and most of the men that are getting on these sites and looking at this woman, don't have a snowball's chance of hell of getting a date with a woman of that caliber anyway. I am appalled at how easily we are duped. And we men have played into the entitlement movement big time. Somebody did leave a comment that I agree with. We need to stop looking at these women. We need to ignore them. We need to start looking and smiling at the average looking woman and stop giving any stage or platform to these good looking women. We know the routine, guys. We know what we've seen. They're stuck up. They're narcissistic. And if we start ignoring them and stop looking at them, even on porn, because it goes by hits, and when the hits start dropping, but it won't happen. We are in a destructive pattern in our country, and men figure, well, if I can't have her that way, at least I can have her vicariously. Dude, I'm not into Spock and Star Trek. Trekkies are totally into that stuff. They do the little, I can't even do it, man. I have to pull my fingers apart to do the Spock salute. They are so into that. And I look at American men that aren't into Star Trek, and yet they're just like that. They're living in a world that doesn't exist. I'm going to say some blunt things. Masturbation feels wonderful. Orgasms are great. But as I get older, I am tired of an image. I'm sick of it. I want the feeling that comes with a woman. I was at a park last night, and one of my friends, it's just a friend, she was giving me a back massage on a park bench, and I couldn't believe how many ladies walked by, some with their dogs, some without. They smiled and said hello. There's something I've noticed that when you're with somebody, then women will look at you and smile. When you're walking alone, they think you're a freak. When I've been in a relationship with somebody, I've had more women come on to me and flirt towards me than when I haven't been in a relationship. I'm like, what is up with that? I want to go up and say, hey, when this relationship fails, can I just have your phone number on backlog? We live in a sad society. And the reason I comment on it is because if men keep standing up and men start beating this drum louder, one day women are going to have to take notice. One day people like Diane Sawyer and Barbara Walters and others are going to go, they're going to have to tune in instead of themselves. They're going to have to say, there's a guy out there on YouTube. His numbers are soaring. We need to do a story on him. I make a commitment to you viewers. Even if I did become big, I will refuse every major network an interview. I will tell them, no thanks. I'm not going to have you put me up there to make me look like an idiot and get the world against me. I have my own channel. I don't need yours. I don't need your money. Okay, you guys will go, oh, come on. What if they gave you big money? Is it worth it to sell ourselves out like women do on porn sites? Women sell themselves out all the time, and they think it's funny. and they reduce themselves to pieces of trash to make a buck. And at the same time, those same women are anti-male, condemning us, making fun of us, but eating up the ego trip of all these men slobbering over their bodies. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of those women on those cam sites and stuff, they're not all that. There's some women out there, it's like, geez, lady, put a shirt on. When you open yourself up and think you're hot stuff, you open yourself up to be critiqued. And don't be surprised if some guys go, I'm not impressed. What we're not doing is building foundation of values. We're not building a foundation where a man really cares about a woman. We men have been conditioned that if you're pretty, you rock. If you're not, you don't get my attention. We ignore the average looking women that have a heart because we've been taught to do so. And we all faint and fawn and run and chase after women like that we know we can't get. And we're giving them empowerment. We men are contributing to the anti-male sentiment because we're stupid and we follow that head between our legs instead of the one on our neck. I appreciate the men going their own way movement. I'm not going to join that simply because I have a sex drive, simply because I value the company of a woman. Some of my male viewers, I like what they say. They're very cerebral. And if I was in the same town as they were in, I would hook up with them as a male friend. Say, let's go for a drive and talk about this stuff. Let's go for a walk. Generally speaking, I don't hang out with guys. Guys are a mess in our country. But some of the viewers I've met on here, it's like, dang, I wish I had those guys as friends just for the male bonding part. I like women. I'm never going to be able to go my own way. And I appreciate those of you that are telling me to do so, but one guy chastised me, and it's like, dude, if you want to go your own way and you feel you've got victory over this thing, that's great. But don't put the rest of us down for trying. My experiences make videos. My experiences are what you guys tune into. So women in the music industry, women that are in the star and media and all that, they really are in love with themselves. And the best thing we guys can do is shut them off, shut them out. Don't listen to their music. Don't watch their shows. Don't look at their porn sites. But I'm afraid there's just not enough of us that are going to stand up to make an impact. Just like somebody said years ago, if every American stopped going to the pumps at the gas station for one day, it would affect the gas prices. We can't do it because in America, nobody's going to stand up corporately. We've become so individualistic, we cannot even get a movement going. By the way, our government loves that. United we stand, divided we fall. We become so individualistic. That's why our government's getting away with atrocious murder every single day. Because Americans won't collectively and corporately bind together and stand up. We've become too self-centered, too inverted. Give me my MTV, give me my job, give me my pay, give me my SUV, and leave me alone and get out of my way. The deck of the Titanic is sliding right out from under us, and most Americans either don't care or don't notice it. But we men, we need to stop giving women entitlement. We need to stop, through our own actions, valuing, rewarding, and giving credence to those good-looking women who we're complaining about as being stuck up. Don't even look at them. Don't even give them that satisfaction. You may say, well, they don't see that I'm looking at them. The porn site knows you're looking at them. That's what cookies are all about. Everything that you do online is traced. Everything is recorded, and everything that you do from your computer goes through the server. And if you think you got privacy, all of your viewing habits online are there for the U.S. government to look at anytime they want. They know which video you watched. They know which chat room you entered. They know what site you logged on to. I know. And people, I'm telling you, there's going to come a day when the government's going to use that against people. My firm belief. Have I looked at inappropriate stuff? Of course I have. I'm human. But there's a disgust that comes with looking at these women. It's like, gosh, they really are immature. the campsite, women are texting on their phones, eating something, sitting there like this. I'm like, they're getting paid to do this garbage. And they can't even be, what is it, employee savvy. And they just, you sit there and go, my gosh. And people are paying people to see this attitudinal chick sitting there eating an orange and playing with her kitty cat and dumb stuff while she's taking her top off. Really? No. Porn is the penis Olympics. Porn is for the sole purpose of masturbation. I loved it when I was a kid and I heard people say, well, I buy Playboy for the articles. Yeah. Really? Playboy, Penthouse, all those magazines make money selling sex. And they have pushed the envelope for years. Now they've been promoting for years, girl on girl, and they just contribute to the degradation of our society. And when we start making a nation of people so sexually oriented, it's only a matter of time before we start getting into orgiastic, temple-like behavior like they did in the ancient civilizations that fell. America's bored with materialism because not everybody can afford it. But everybody can afford to look at filth. And what we're doing is, instead of being concerned about our government and trying to do something constructive, we're drowning on entertainment. We're drowning on vice. And our country is being weakened and eroded and corroded every day. I'm telling you guys, if we want to be men, we're going to have to stand up. And it's going to take some doing. And there's a lot of women out there that can help turn the tide. You need to speak out against your friends doing that stuff and say, you know what? Quit being a slut. There's some good women out there. There's women that watch my videos, and I know they agree with what I'm saying. Sorry for the transparency, guys and gals, but you know what? Viewer asked me, what should I do videos on? I said, just be you. I'd like to see more videos of people keeping it real. I'm getting tired of people showing stupid little things with their pet tricks and more funniest home videos. That gets old. I want substance too. And I encourage my viewers, get out, make your videos, and compete with me. I'm not an ego trip. If you surpass me, good. Because I'm learning from some of you guys. This isn't about Pacific rising to the top and having his own little cult following. It's about me trying to get people to think. I'd love to make money at this. I don't, by the way. Some of my videos are monetized, but I didn't set them up right. And I don't even know how to go about that. I do this for fun. You know, I go to work every day for a living, and I do this for fun because I believe it's something on my heart that needs to be said. But I am going to say a lot of American women, they're messed up. And you cannot tell them that because, like Byrne says, they lack substance. You look at women's spending habits, you look at the crap that they buy, you look at the clothing they buy, the ripped up, torn up shirts, the $60 pants with holes in them and stonewashed jeans, and you go, really? I mean, I wish, I don't understand this, but you would think that the jeans that I've worn doing, labor jobs that get torn and ripped, I thought, shoot, I should just wash them, put them on the rack, and I could make a profit off my jeans. Of course, they wouldn't buy that. They got to buy the name brand, It's ridiculous. Women get away with murder in the fashion industry. Have you ever seen the Hollywood runway models of the stuff that they wear? Step outside of the boobs that you're seeing underneath that garment there and look at the clothing, guys. It's stupid. When the comment is made that women don't have substance, that is majority-based truth. Women's spending habits are ridiculous. They waste more money on crippy crap and frivolous garbage. And I think of my Filipino lady friends back home. No makeup expenditures at all. People say because they're poor. No! Some of those Filipinos got a shopping problem too. When I was over there, go buy all this Hello Kitty crap and all this junk. But the whole makeup industry, my gosh, this stuff is expensive. You buy some tube of cream and it's $70. And I'm like, well, this is really good cream. No, it's really good marketing, lady. Stop eating a McDonald's. Stop eating a greasy chip. Stop eating a KFC that's loaded with deep fat fried oil. I know a woman at work that I came back to the in-service last week. She's very heavy, and when I saw her, I didn't recognize her. She lost a tremendous amount of weight, and I commented. I said, man, you look good, girl. She goes, thank you. I said, what did you do? She goes, do you really want to know what I did, Pacific? I said, yeah, you worked out. She goes, nope. I changed the way I eat. I said, what did you do? She goes, I cut out the chips, the pop, the junk food, the McDonald's, and I eat salads, and I eat nothing but fresh meat. And I said, there you go. People wonder why Asians are slender, because look at their diet. Steamed vegetables, fish, rice. Rice, too much rice can cause obesity, but we have bad habits in this nation. And yes, there are things we can do to turn the tide. I like meeting women of substance. They're few and far between. And I'm going to make a bold pronouncement, viewers. These really highly good-looking women in American society, a lot of them are junk. I know people say, boy, that's not very Christian. They're junk because of the way they act. They don't care about you. They don't care about anybody but themselves. They think their bodies are for sale, and you're not going to get a time with them at all unless you're willing to spend some money on them. Substance? By no means none. All they live in is a shopping mall and an SUV and think that their world revolves around them. If a big disaster hit this country, women wouldn't know what hit them broadside. All we've done is put women on narcissistic little pedestals, and I'm tired of these women getting on free cams. They're only free for the people who don't want to pay, but they're making money. Men, stop paying these women for that. Tell them to get a frickin' job. Tell them, I don't care how good looking you are. You're going to work like the rest of us. I'm sick of our male society in America promoting women with all the cleavage and the big boobs to the front desk that have no skill, no PR skills, whatever. And they can be a biatch up there and get away with it. An average worker in the back room of a warehouse cops an attitude with a boss, and that person's fired. But boobs up front can do and say anything, and everybody ignores it. We men are contributing to the problem of the entitlement, anti-male mentality of most females. This is Pacific signing off. Bye-bye.